you haven't seen me before, if you haven't heard my name is Michael Vasquez. Now, for those of you who have, probably are more familiar with the name Michael Vass. That's because for the last 7 years, and actually going back about 20 years now, that's the name I've always used for business. When I was a stockbroker, when I've had my private businesses. If you look on to any search engine in the internet, you'll see articles with my name. Specifically, I've been doing, over the last 7 years, political commentary, news and report. I've covered the 2010, 2012, and 2008.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
I'm sorry. The 2008, 2010, 2012 elections. I've covered the entire southern tier, central New York. I've written about everything from the local news and the blight here in Binghamton up to, well, I was warning people about President Obama because his speeches didn't match his record. There's a lot I can say about myself, and you can look online and you can see what I've written.
Where are you from?
Huh?
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Bronx, New York.
You're running in the 22nd district, right?
22nd district.
Where do you live?
I live in Binghamton.
Oh, okay, that's what I didn't know if you were Binghamton or someplace else in the 22nd.
Oh, no problem. I was just coming around to it. I didn't have anything written, so if I seem a little bit off, it's just because this is just off the fly, which is not bad. I know you're there.
No telephone.
No telephone. I invite you, look up Michael Vasquez, read whatever. You'll love something, you'll hate something. But one thing you'll see is, this is what I've been saying. I've been saying it for 7, 8 years now. It's been very consistent. And I need to correct, I'm going to be the exploratory committee on April 23rd, and will officially be launched. And I will be then evaluating the run for office. It's part of the process. Mike is known about it, a few others.
I guess we made it worse, I'm so sorry. I thought
That's
it
all
was
right. That's all right.
made it worse.
Why would I want to run? And that's the big thing. Why would anyone want to put themselves through the headache, the pain, the paperwork, the process of being a candidate for any elected office? And the real simple answer is, because things are that bad. It's that screwed up. We have candidates out there, and we have elected officials, elected officials out there. How many people were trying to get to their congressman today? How many got through? Yeah. How often do you have to? Ask your friends and neighbors. Who runs the 22nd congressional district? Because most people are going to probably tell you, well, that's got to be Hinchy. Except he is gone. And most people don't even remember who was running in 2012. How many people remember that, and I don't mean to speak badly of them, but I want to highlight something that's important. Did anyone hear about Congressman Richard Hanna and his flip-flop on his voting record? Anyone by show of hands? Of course. All right. And I guarantee you, if you went out right now, that was about half this crowd. You are some of the most informed people about what's going on in politics today. No matter what the media may like to say about it, you know what's going on. You have the pulse of what's going on in politics. And only half of you know what happened there. What about your neighbors? You don't pay attention to this. What about the people who listen to just the 30-second soundbites? That's not enough. And it's not representation. 47% of Congress are made up of millionaires. Over 1/3 of all Congress members are people who have been career politicians. Now that's not bad. I commend them on the fact that they have made their sacrifices because they've been successful. These are great things. Who here is a millionaire? Who lives next to a millionaire? Fantastic. That's fantastic. But he's a dentist. And how many others? It's not who we are. Do you know there's only 3 nurses in Congress right now? 3. There's 1 plumber. There's 1 guy who's a car salesman. There was one other person who worked in radio sales. That's it. These are the common people in Congress right now. There's over 33 lawyers. There's over 15 judges. These aren't who we are. Now, one of the things I want to bring back into Congress is the fact that we need common people. We need someone just like you in there to speak up. Because there are a lot of issues that you're very familiar with, that I'm familiar with, that need to be addressed. There is no reason why we can go 4 years without making a budget in Congress, which is their responsibility in the Senate. Why do they get paid? That is their function of their job. They just let it go. We're looking at the Obamacare law. The first time we've seen a law that, by my understanding and by my reading of the understandings, first time the government has a right over the people to tell us we must do something. That's never happened before. And where does it lead to? Because if they can tell us we must own medical, health care, what else can't they tell us to do? And why are we not hearing from our elected officials, even the ones who say they're the strict conservatives? Wait a minute, I need to talk about this. Why aren't we hearing from our elected officials once a month? When was the last time you heard about any elected official recently showing up just to speak with everybody, to be part of the people, to find out what's going on? You've heard about them and you've read about them going to some event to pass out, oh, I passed this bill for this thing, and isn't that fantastic? Oh, I showed up at this horrible event, and please remember to vote for me. If you haven't heard them, come down to your local community and say, gee, how are you feeling about your foreclosures in your area? How are you feeling about the jobs that are being lost? I know how that feels. I'll be honest, I've been in foreclosure twice in the last 4 years. Actually 5. Pulled myself out of it, still own my house. Was it easy? No. I bet you have a bunch of neighbors who've been through the same thing. I bet you more than a few of you have been through it yourselves. Do you feel that the government helped you in that process? No. Did they make it more difficult? For a lot of people, yes. Even though they gave us promise after promise. But where were our elected officials coming down and going, I know how you feel. Let me explain. Let me help you with this. Let me show you a process on that. Wait a minute, why don't you tell me how I can better create a legislation that will help you? We're not hearing those kind of things. Again, they are representatives. They're not supposed to be leading us on what we should want. They're supposed to be taking the lead from us and representing what we want. We need to get back to that. Because that's part of the problem. And that's one of the core problems of every aspect of government at this time. Everything comes back to, right now, our elected officials, both parties, across the country, are not representing us. They may represent the party. They may represent a special interest. They may represent an issue. But they don't represent us. They're not around us. They're not speaking to us. I've been writing about that for 7, 8 years now. I believe in it strongly. I've talked to the candidates of every party in every election in this area for 8, 9 years. We need to get back to that. Now, when I get out to run, to go on the 23rd, this is my platform. I'm here, and what my process is, what I believe is essential, and I'm going out throughout the entire 22nd district that has been redistricted. Not only to let people know about who I am, but also I want to hear what you think we need. Let's get a consensus. Let me tell you what I believe is the best idea. I'll give you every argument I can on why I believe the things I believe in the way that we should resolve it. And then you tell me, Mike, I agree. No, I don't. And let me get that consensus from them so that we can make sure we have a representative that when they walk in there, these are the issues. Not because I think so, not because the party thinks so, but because that's what my constituents think. And that's what they're supposed to be there for. Now, I imagine there's a lot of things you may want to ask me. I'm just speaking off the top here, but I'm sure there's questions you may have. I'll take the rest of the time.